Would you like a simple way to remove frustration from your life when you're working to improve your memory and really accomplish large learning goals? Well, if so, that's coming right up, along with 2 special announcements for regular subscribers to this channel. Hey there, this is Anthony Metivier from MagneticMemoryMethod.com, where we help mature learners of any age take mental adventures that unlock the full powers of your mind and your memory so that you can learn and remember and recall information easily, effectively, and in ways that are elegant and fun. And that elegant point is really important because that's what makes it easier and fun. When you really break things down to the simplest processes, ideally using a memory palace. So if you're new here, get started now by hitting subscribe, click that thumbs up, and get prepared to leave a comment below. Let me know what you're doing, what you're thinking, and where you are in the world, and what issues you're having with frustration when it comes to learning. Now, this video is inspired by a recent video that I made with my friend William Gordon. We started a new initiative, which is, in a pilot project kind of sense, maybe a playlist that we'll develop over time on this channel called Critical Thinking and Memory Improvement on Tap. Might not be the best title for it, but that's what we started with. And it's sort of a free-form discussion, starting with a memory technique and then going into some discussion about philosophy and using recall of things in the memory and books and ideas to really exercise critical thinking and memory at the same time. So you can check out that video. There'll be a link in the description below and a thing to click on the screen. And one of the things that happened from there was I said to William, why don't we read an article together to keep it relatively short instead of an entire book, and then we'll pick it up next time, because one of the ones that we talked about on the previous video, which you'll find in the video itself and a link to the actual article in the description of that video, he said, man, I got to tell you, this is kind of frustrating. And I said, yeah, well, totally, it frustrated me as well. I mean, one of my strategies, and here's a very powerful strategy for you if you get confused and frustrated by articles, was to read out loud. So when I was first reading that particular article, it was in a second-year English literature course at York University. And man, it was like, I knew that I wanted those ideas, but how to get in. And that wasn't even the hardest article there, but pretty challenging. But instead of getting frustrated, I just started to read it out loud, right? And this is a huge tip for you. Remember VCR Days? If you're around my age, you probably remember where you're trying to set the timer to tape MacGyver or whatever the heck it is that you couldn't watch the MacGyver special because you were away or you were going to be asleep or whatever, and you're just about to throw the instruction manual at the wall, right? Well, what if you just sat down and you just read it out loud? That's what I used to do. That's ultimately how I used to understand instruction manuals. 1, find the panel, flip it down. 2, find the button that says X and click, right? And by reading it out loud, something very special happens. Your mind gets a little bit of distance from that need for instant gratification of understanding, and you process it through a different part of your body, through your mouth. And then you have distance from it, and you actually can piece the words together from a different perspective. Well, it's the same thing with difficult articles. And it doesn't have to be difficult philosophy articles. It can be any sort of articles in the world where you just don't understand something. Just pause, take a breath, read it out loud. Very powerful. And don't think that that's too simplistic to be true. It absolutely is a huge strategy. I've used it again and again and again. And when I went into some deep depression, and really to the extent of suicidal ideation of a very extreme kind, I just figured out, like, I couldn't concentrate on anything, and I figured out I'm going to have to use this technique more, reading out loud. And then I started to actually take words that I understood and phrases that I understood after reading them out loud and writing them on index cards, which is another level of processing to get them through the mind differently, from a different perspective. And then I've memorized them from the cards in the same way you memorize a deck of cards. Very powerful, especially when you're not feeling focused, especially when you're feeling challenged. And there's no shame in not understanding things. There's none at all. There's lots of things to this day, as a trained philosopher as such. I mean, I have a PhD, which is a doctor of philosophy, so I guess I'm a trained philosopher. But the point being is that I just don't give in to frustration, even though to this day, certain ideas, concepts, articles, books frustrate me. I just read them out loud and then write them in my own words in order to process it differently, and then to continue to read. And one of the things that you can do to reduce frustration is just understand, I'm being frustrated. Step back, take a different strategy. Another thing is pre-reading, right? So instead of getting frustrated, go and look up a summary of that text. Now, summaries are not replacements for actually doing the reading. but they can prime your mind. They can prime your mind in very, very important ways, because they're like creating lighthouses or beacons of light as you go through the murky darkness of new texts that you don't understand. Because you've read someone else's summary, and then you say, oh, okay, so there's 5 points this person is making here. Maybe you get them down on index cards. Maybe you memorize them in advance using the magnetic memory method, and then you're able to spot them when you are reading. This is very, very powerful because you've primed your mind and you know what you're looking for. And then when you see it, your perspective is wide open. All the floodgates of your mind are ready to just seize upon that because you've seen it before. And you don't get frustrated. You don't get stressed. You're able to absolutely just bring your best game because you've had a bit of warning. You've got a beacon of light that you're bringing with you into the dark murkiness of that new text. So pre-reading summaries is very, very powerful, and I highly, highly recommend it, especially if you take it to the next level and take notes of the summaries, either on index cards or whatever else. Try to avoid digital because of the digital amnesia problem, if you can, and really feel the benefits of handwriting and practice your handwriting. It's a skill that, I can't say conclusively is going to give you some extra boost, but I can say just in a common sense level that it's going to create that distance, and you're going to be taking more time, spending more time with focus on the thoughts, and that's going to create another level of perspective, and it's going to give your brain more to work with. This is just common sense, and take it or leave it, but it's a very powerful technique. And then go and read the actual thing, and don't be afraid to read it twice, right? There's nothing wrong with rereading things. I remember when I was in university, my aunt also went back to university, and she demonstrated sometimes just what people do is a great lesson. She demonstrated how she was going to ace every exam. She was an adult student at that time. I was still a young pup. I wasn't even in my 20s yet when I went to university first and observed this, but she was doing a BA in psychology as an adult who had a full-time job, and she had limited time, and she used to read a book all the way through, no highlighting, nothing. She would just read it from cover to cover. Then she would read it a second time. That's when she would start to take the notes. That's when she would start to highlight certain things and so forth. She passed with flying colors. It was the most amazing thing to see. And she just did basically, essentially, a kind of pre-reading of the text by actually reading it. So priming the brain to pick up the details later. So very, very powerful to do that. Now, the other thing that William and I were talking about is that frustration is not a bad thing in and of itself. Frustration is actually a sign that you need to scale back, right? You just need to scale back. But the risk is that you will go to things that do not challenge you. And if you're not being challenged, you're not learning. And that's no good. So you want to make sure, and I told him, I said, look, if you're not being challenged, it's probably not worth reading. That's not necessarily always true, but it's just a good rule of thumb. And then when you get frustrated, just scale back the level of challenge. Make sure you're still being challenged. That's part of the magic of learning, constant growth. Eudaimonia, or eudaimonia, as it's sometimes pronounced, is the Greek word for flourishing, but it also means happiness, right? So how do you get happy? Well, you constantly till the soil. You got to challenge the soil. And farmers, they go out in the fields, and sometimes they leave certain fields fallow. Other times they just till them up without actually leaving them fallow, without actually planting them. So it's kind of like halfway between leaving it fallow and cultivating the soil so that it's going to be ready and prepped the next time, nice and soft and so forth. And then sometimes they had just go in and till it and plant, right? And if you got multiple sorts of things like that going on with your learning, you're going to be challenging that soil of your brain and keeping it fresh, keeping the loam nice and ready. Magnetic, you might say. So it's really, really important. The other thing too is just to be forgiving to yourself when you are challenged, right? Because there's something in the brain called the insular cortex. It creates a pain response often when you feel challenged, and then you just get overwhelmed and so forth, and it's because these chemicals are spiked. When you understand that, you can recognize it and forgive it and just give it some space, give it some time, and dive in. Take everything one sip at a time, as I like to say. S.I.P. Study, implement, and practice. Everything is practice. Reading is a kind of practice. It's the practice of reading. So don't run away from reading. Just read differently. Read summaries and then go read the difficult text. Go to lectures and read. Read and then attend lectures. Watch lectures again and again and again. I'm revisiting some old recorded lectures, and I just love it from years and years ago, and I got to go and read that stuff as well in order to get the most out of it, and I do, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. But if it's not a challenging version of the reading, then I go and read someone's challenge of that reading. So just to give you an example, something for you to watch, Rick Roderick has a great lecture on Heidegger, and well, Heidegger is not really going to challenge me in English anymore, so I'll go and read it in German. Now that'll be a challenge, right? And if I didn't want to go and read in German, like maybe I'm just like, well, this is too challenging, this is really frustrating philosophical German, too high for my level of German, then what I'll do is I'll try and go and find a commentary on Heidegger, either in English, one that challenges my own views, right, and maybe uses some technical language that I find challenging, or I'll find a simple discussion of Heidegger in German that's challenging enough German so that I am being challenged with my German and my understanding of philosophy. And it's ideal in German because the ideas of how those, the way that those ideas are expressed in German brings another level of perspective to it that English translations of the German technical terms, right, like Dasein and so forth, they're just going to be very, very different by virtue of reading them in German, right? And that's why a lot of philosophers refer to the German terminology, because there is no one-to-one correspondence in many times. Same thing with French, etc., like différence in Jacques Derrida, blah, blah, blah. So I hope that helps you out. I hope that it gives you some things to go on. Check out the Rick Roderick if you're interested in that below. Check out the previous video that William and I did on critical thinking and memory improvement on tap. Let us know what you think of that title, and let us know in general if that's something that's useful and interesting to you, and maybe we can do it a different way. If not, it's just a pilot, a test, and we really appreciate all the people who watched and hit that thumbs up and let us know what they think about it. Now, so really that was the first announcement that I wanted to share for regular subscribers, is that initiative to bring some critical thinking discussions to this channel. Let me know what you think about that. The second announcement is that I am now very, very close to finishing the outline of my next book. Unlike the memory connection, which was all about the actual memory techniques and the habits that one can build around those memory techniques to make sure that you're implementing and using them on a daily or near daily basis for the rest of your life to make memory part of your lifestyle. The memory connection accomplished that very, very well, and I look forward to re-releasing it in the near future. The next book is going to be about the connection between mindfulness, meditation, and memory, and certain elements that are common to both, and how to bring them together to maximize your memory. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a webinar where I walk through the entire outline that I've created. It's very practically done. You're going to have my writing partner have a look at it first, and then I'm going to create a webinar and we're going to go through it pretty much line by line. It might be 2 sessions because it is quite detailed. If you're interested in that, really the cost of entry is to make sure you're on my email list. And the cost of being on my email list is to take my free course, the Memory Improvement Kit that gives you 4 free videos and the worksheets. And you get all that at magneticmarymethod.com/YT. But this will not be open access for this except for subscribers to my email list who've taken the free course. Why do this? Well, not only is it going to improve your memory, because you'll know how to create memory palaces properly, and you'll have all of the worksheets that help you create a proper magnetic memory method memory palace network, but it's going to give you the common lingo and the dialogue that we can have, so that when we have discussions we can use technical language together that's just not possible if you haven't had the training. So that's part of that, and that's the kind of people that I want to be invited to this webinar to go through the book, so that we're sharing that common lingo and get your insights. I want to make sure that this book is for you, the people who are most invested in the work that I do and the training that I create. And it's going to be a very, very fun session, but you'll be notified when you're a part of the subscriber list at magneticmarymethod.com/YT. And if that's not interesting to you, no problem. Let me know what would be interesting to you, what's going wrong, what's missing that you haven't subscribed over at magneticmarymethod.com/YT, so I can figure out what it is that you need to see to have that happen, because I really appreciate each and every person who entrusts us with that information so that we can do the things that just aren't possible on YouTube. They're not possible anywhere else on the internet, except for at home territory, which is the Magnetic Memory Method website. So thanks for watching this video. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. Get subscribed if you're not subscribed. And until we have a chance to speak again, keep yourself magnetic.